Sephora Summer Sale was like mid-August, end of August timeframe. So I did pick up a few items. I have over 20 items to share with you, as well as from Sephora inside JCPenney. And I want to share my thoughts, but also I feel that a lot of these items I recommend for the upcoming Sephora Vib Rouge sale or Beauty Insider sale. So since Sephora decided to cram it really early, I mean, Friends and Family just ended and now it's starting, I think like October 30th. I'm just giving it to you all at once. First up is from a clean beauty brand called Ilia. This is their Super Serum Skin Tint SPF 40. I have had this on my loves list for quite some time to take a look at. The shade Dominica, I feel just matches me perfectly. Being that it's a skin tint, I feel that the shade is very forgiving. So it will blend in very natural with my skin tone and with my undertone. It's in the Serum skincare type dropper. The whole aesthetic of Ilia's brand, I do enjoy that. I like this gender neutral, just very clean, just very simple looking, what's the word? Just approach to beauty in itself. I vibe with that, put it that way. I always shake it up when I use it. And when I first went like this to pull it out, I was like, whoa, this is gonna look quite warm on me. But again, the shade is so forgiving. It just smooths and turns into that perfect base shade. It's a runny formula, but it is super easy to blend in. I blend it in with my fingers. I've used my multiple type brushes. I tend to always reach for this style brush here just in the video clips to show you how easy it is to blend it in with some stipple brush, a dual fiber brush, anything of that nature. It really does blend this liquid fine and there's no streaks. The star of this skin tint is the protection that it offers. It has SPF 40, but the sunscreen is a mineral-based formula of zinc. So I feel that it's giving you just wonderful protection because the rays is bouncing off the zinc, so it's 12%. This is not a formula that is going to build to any type of full coverage at all. No. It's not even a true medium coverage. It is a light, and we're talking barely tipping that toe into a medium arena. So this is the brush I tend to use as far as to go in and kind of spot conceal. Again, it's not going to go up to that level. So this is something that is just going to even it out. Redness and so forth, even it out, and then go about your business. The finish on it, I feel, is quite dewy. So keep that in mind too. If you have oily skin, it might be a little bit too much for you. You can powder it down, but even though with the powder, there's still that breakthrough of the skin's oils. So I like that. I also do recommend that for the VIB sale, again, only because of the price tag at retail. Get it at a discount. Okay, the next item I want to mention, I already had talked in depth about this, the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Set and Refresh Spray. This is something I did pick up during that time frame, but I already have compared this to a couple of other spray waters on the market. So please take a look at that video if you really want to get like the nitty gritty about this product. But it is something I recommend for the upcoming sale as well. I have two loose powders. So the first one is the Sephora perk that was like, $25 order or whatnot. This is the Laura Mercier loose powder, but it's just in the new shade of Honey. I see this shade working best with somebody that falls into the skin tones of like the medium skin tones, the tan skin, the deep tan. Once you go past my skin tones, you start going into the richer skin tones, I would recommend you start using the medium deep shade from Laura. Or let's say you're like, I have to have honey. I'm not listening. I have to have the honey. Then just mix them. Mix the two. You can mix the medium deep and mix the honey, and it'll start to elevate the color. And then it'll start to be that good, golden rich shade for underneath your eyes. Think of the Huda Kunafu shade. It's be around that. I will finish up, use up the sample, but it's not going to be a color that I'm going to pick up a full size of honey. And it's really because I already have honey type shades already in my collection. If you need a brightening shade loose powder, you really need to have it. You know, go ahead and have it for the sale that's coming up. But it's not something I'm like, I would be like, run out and get. Run out and get. The powder, I would say, run out and get. We're talking day one of the sale is this. This is out of control. Milk Makeup. Official title is the Blur Plus Set Matte Loose Setting Powder. You open up the little lid. That's something I like, is that it keeps it from going all over the place. And then it has a mesh sponge, like with a mesh setting on top, and then you can get the powder out. What I like to do is with the brush or with the bottom part of my sponge, I go right into the mesh, picks up enough powder. And what I do is I only do the T-zone area. Sometimes I'll do underneath the eyes too, you know, in a pinch, but that's really what I focus on. And I mean, it just you can roll it onto your skin and it is just setting and just smoothing out that pore area. It's something I can even see in the magnifying mirror, and that blew me away. Ingredient-wise, it has avocado powder, and it's got skin softening ingredients. So it just feels, it's like rubbing a little butter stick on your skin. I'm here for it. First day of the sale. You need one of these. This is what I recommend. Highly recommend. I can't say enough of good things about that powder. Next up are two bronzers, one cream, one powder. So I have briefly mentioned this one from Tarte, the Sea Breezy Cream Bronzer. I have the darkest shade, which is Grace Bay. Sephora JCPenney had a glitch on their website. So some of these items I have here were, I'm talking rock bottom prices that only a glitch would give you. The texture of this bronzer is another one that's just like smooth, like butter, just moves onto the skin. And it doesn't even matter if you have a groove here or a little bump there, it'll just glide right over it. And it's just a beautiful shade. It's a shade that is that golden, natural, I feel that realistic tone on my skin tone. So that is why I like it. It is not a red-based bronzer. It's not a flat, like brown tone. It is just that happy medium of a golden bronze shade without any shimmer. This is pure matte, pure matte. It's just beautiful. Now on Sephora's website, I believe there is only 2 shades. I don't know. I don't know why. On Tarte's website, there's either 3 or 4. Again, I just picked out the darker shade. That's a product I'd recommend for the sale coming out. Now, the next product is a powder bronzer. This is from Lawless. It's the Summer Skin Velvet Matte Bronzer. This is in the shade Glazed. There is only 2 shades. This is a clean beauty brand. I have reviewed a few Lawless products already on this channel. So I'm looking at Ilia, I'm looking at Lawless, I'm looking at other kind of clean brands and just seeing, you know, how their products are, how pigmented they are, how do they blend, because, you know, this clean beauty has come a long way. This is another tone that is that perfect medium. This is a matte bronzer of a deeper, richer, golden, neutral bronze. That's what I see it as. You've got an olive skin tone. This will look absolutely fantastic on you. Moving on to blush. I have 2 blushes here, another Lawless. So I did pick out her blush. And then I have one from Jouer. If you have darker skin, I feel that Desert Rose, and there's 2 other shades, I think Indian Summer, and I forgot what the other one is because it's in my loves list on Sephora. That would work for our skin tones. Desert Rose is a shade like my everyday shade. So that's another thing. I want one that I can really kind of start using a lot of, mix in with other blushes, just like the other powder formulas, just like the eyeshadow palette that I had reviewed from Lawless. They just blend. The powders blend perfect on the skin. No patchiness, and I'm very pleased. Moving on to Jouer. So this is part of the Sephora rock bottom deal sale here, the glitch. This is the Passion Blush Duo. I chose Cherish Me is the blush shade, and then Treasure Me is the highlight shade. I do enjoy the shade. See how this is very close to Desert Rose, just offers that everyday flush color on my skin tone. So if you have deeper skin, this is the kit I'd recommend, Cherish Me. Highlighter is a rich tone. This is something that also kind of surprised me because I wasn't expecting this formula of highlighter to be so smooth and so like blinding and pigmented. So this kind of changed me. Like, maybe I should kind of look a little bit at Jouer, but I use it and then kind of like the brand kind of floats back out of my head again. So I'm very happy that I have this, especially at that price tag, because I know if it was at the regular full price, I wouldn't have gotten it. I wouldn't have gotten it. I just would have passed by Jouer. However, on sale, at a VIB sale, again, it's another product. It's a blush, it's a highlighter. Probably already have a lot of these already in other tones. So it's not something to be like, hey, recommend for the sale. Another Milk item. This is their Flex highlighter in the shade Glazed. This one is like outer space. Outer space. So it's smooth and so forth, and you can buff it onto the skin. This is something I would recommend. There's other shades, so depend on your skin tone, you will find one that will match up to you. And also good job on Too Faced. I picked this one up, the Sugar Peach Wet and Dry Face and Eye Palette. Take a little brush, dip into each shade, or just go straight across, which is what I do. Tap it off, and you will get that one tone, all that loveliness right there. When you pick up this one of Peach Pearl, which has, I feel, more of the glitter type of highlighter effect on it, you're left with this little area where it's kind of like sporadic, but in a very like soft way. So depending on how the light hits, it's going to be bing, bing, bing. It has like that help from the other three pans to kind of get it to act right, put it that way. I've been getting some questions about that. Why do you use it all? Why do you dip into everything? Why don't you use it the way it's intended? That sentence right there. Use it the way it's intended. If you know me in real life, I would go beyond what is intended. You got to see the creativeness of that. Go beyond that comfort and really see how it looks. It is unbelievable all mixed together. And also, that's the way you're going to use up your products too. If you go into everything all at once, you never know, you might like the shade. I picked up one new mascara. This is from Marc. It is the At Lash'd Lifting and Volumizing Mascara. And of course, the darkest color, black. Brush for this mascara, it's not even big. It's very short. That's how much product comes out. And what I like about this formula, it's not overly wet, but I can coat and build my lashes, and it does all three in one. So I feel it lengthens, volumizes, and then it separates, but I can keep going coat after coat and it doesn't clump. I thought that was like, wow, that's kind of okay. 4 eyeshadow palettes. 4. I'm going to first start off with the 2 that I received during Sephora's JCPenney mix-up. So these were rock bottom prices. Melt Cosmetics Rust palette, which is what I have on my eyes today, and then the Urban Decay Naked Violet. Let's go with Urban Decay first. This wasn't anything I was going to pick up. I wanted no part of it. No part of it at all. This is going to be a personal preference. In how I do my eyeshadow with my mattes, I like to build up in color. That's also another way to use up your eyeshadow pans. But to build up these purple tones, I can start off with light tones, doesn't matter the color, but there's no purple or pink type violet shades here to help complement these tones. It's very off. To me, it felt off. So that's why I was like, I'm not gonna personally pick it up. So the shimmers and the satins are pretty much, I feel, what look good in this palette. But I'm gonna have to pull in something else to use it. So that's why I was like, I'm not gonna buy it. But on that day, in the glitch, it was so cheap. I think it was like $5, $10. I said, what the heck, I'll throw it in. I got it. You had to get up to a shipping amount, so I just threw it in. So now I have it. I haven't touched it yet, but I have it. I'm a melt girl. I love my melt eyeshadows. All of my palettes I have, they stay right here in this drawer because I reach for them in the stacks constantly to use with other palettes. Outside packaging here, and then you open it up, and then you got the tones that kind of match that. A ton of mattes. I mean, I'm in love. I can dip into absolutely every matte in here to build up and blend into one another. So I usually mix these two for the brow bone, and then this yeah, is out of control. The pigment level with melt, that's why I like them. They're shadows, they're pigmented, and they're easy and fast to blend. This color here, I love anything that's an olive tone. Give me a green and throw yellow in it and throw a brown in it, and you've got me. I love olive tones. This color is made for me. Love it. And then you got these beautiful shimmers here to complement it. But again, you got all these mattes down here too. This really deep, just grungy, plum, black, brown. I had to have. Now, these two palettes I picked up on sale on Sephora's actual website. I already talked about the Palm Springs palette in one of my videos, the one about how my shopping habits have changed. This palette just makes me happy. The shimmers, the glimmers, all this, how they shift and move, and the color that it changes into, even when wet. The shimmers in here are just outstanding. And then you have the great mattes to build up. Use every matte in this palette, and they just blend into one another. And then the last one is the Retrograde palette from Huda Beauty. Huda Beauty is another brand that I'm looking, what you dropping. I love the eyeshadows. Another brand's formula that is easy to blend, that blends well, and the packaging is always very nice. You know, I don't have an issue with that, but I really enjoy the color story in here. If I can get the palette open. Now, the color story is just this mix of pastels, and then you've got these little other colors kind of tossed in, that green. It's like kind of like, you know, what that meant in there doesn't make sense. And then you have this deep shade here that, you know, will add the depth. The star are these dual, I don't know what she calls them. They're just this different formula. It's creamy, and I mean the shine that it puts on the lid. Those would be the palettes. These are the palettes I'm enjoying, and these would be the palettes I would definitely recommend, you know, if you want some palette choices for the set. Let's close out on lips. The first one is another Ilia brand product here, but this is like, you know, again, you spend this amount on Sephora, they send it to you. This is the Balmy Gloss Tinted Lip Oil. So I just thought, you know, tinted oils, I really like those. I have a couple in my purse that I wear when I'm out and about. So I wanted to try this one, again, Clean Beauty, and I do not like this at all. I haven't touched it since. I think I've worn it twice, so I've given it, you know, 2 tries. This is just an oil that is, I don't really consider it even like a lip oil. The shade, I don't like at all. It's not flattering. I think the shade name is on here. Yeah, Only You. So this shade isn't good for, you know, if you have darker skin. But this is an oil that is actually drying, which is strange. Can a lip oil actually be drying? But it does. My lips look so dry. They do not look good. So I did not like this. This actually is just gonna go in the trash. A rollerball gloss from the brand Incredible. This is just rollerball gloss is what it's called. Now I have Rolling Like a Honey. If you want a rollerball, this is the rollerball to get. And they have various shades because this actually is, the ball will roll and the product will actually come out. All these other roller balls on the market that I've tried, they don't come out. Or it's really, you're sitting there and the metal ball's turning and turning, the product's not coming on. This glides on and then the product is coming right out as the ball, is rolling. So this is where it's at. And this actually isn't even that expensive. Incredible is the brand I don't feel is talked very much, but their jelly primer is their #1 product. And it's what I always recommend. And it is no doubt, without question, my favorite primer in all of Sephora. So that's why I kind of looked at this. I saw this in their list. Taking a little peek, what else you got up on here? Saw this, gave it a shot. Absolutely love it. So you want a rollerball, this is the one I'd recommend. And for the sale, it's going to be less than $10 too. Now I have gloss here. This is from Tower 28. This is the new jelly version ones. I think the milk jelly, is that what it's called? Yeah, Shine On Lip Jelly. I have the shade Cashew. The jelly version is supposed to be named after the milks out there. So a little bit more opaque versus their other glosses that they have, which almost kind of is like really high shine and a little bit more sheer. These are opaque. So they have like the coconut and then the oat, and so I got Cashew. Cashew is a beautiful color for my skin tone. I do feel that these are very they feel a little bit thicker than the actual clear lip glosses, the sheer ones. Same applicator. Doesn't really have like an alarming smell or anything. However, I feel that the gloss itself, like this, it's okay. I tend to reach for the other ones more. It just so happened to be like that. This is moisturizing, maybe because it's not so high shine, I feel, as the other original ones. But for some reason, subconsciously, I am reaching for those more. So if you are actually looking, let's say you like the Tower 28 glosses, but you want one that is a lot more opaque in color, you don't mind, you can pick one of whatever the milk colors they have, then that would be a way to go. Last product is an actual bullet lipsticks. This is from Pat McGrath. I have the shade Lavish in 410, and I chose a color that I figured would be that everyday shade. It is a creamy formula, but it's not slipping and sliding. So it's that happy medium of a cream and a matte lipstick combined. So I figured for the price, because it was really, the price was down there. I figured I would just get a full-size one since I do like the little trios that I have. I will have my Sephora VIB recommendation playlist down in the info box. You're welcome to watch any of those prior videos. A lot of it will be the same as far as recommendations for the eye feel, because I will look at my collection, see is there anything skincare-wise that I need to pick out as far as what am I running low on? What will I need to kind of tide me over until the spring 2021? So that's how I do it. And then look in your own collection, and I will also look at my collection and say, okay, what else needs replenishing, if anything? So let me know if you have any additional questions. Leave them down in the comments. I will answer them for you. And I do want to thank you for stopping by and watching, spending some time with me. It is always appreciated. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, and as always, I am going to see you in the next video. Take care of yourself and look out for one another. Bye.